Everyone wants to stick with us versus herd. If it's your first time here, you like the content, hit subscribe. If you want to get notifications when we go live, tap the bell. And if you want to join the UVH fam, our community, links are below in the Discord, in the description to our Discord and our free option trading group on Facebook. If you're here right now, say what is going on. Good morning. We have the S&Ps down 16, Dow's down 158, NASDAQ down 68 due to China saying that they miscalculated the number of people sick in China for the coronavirus, I believe. What is going on? It snowed a bunch here last night, so another gloomy day in Chicago. So I think that eventually, this coronavirus news is going to catch up, but the market is just not really caring right now, you know? They're gonna care when it starts hitting the American companies. Yo, Keith, Joshua, Daniel, Jeff, what's going on? So, we had a few earnings this morning. We had CSCO earnings. Let me just pull this up. Close this out. Sorry, I got a bunch of windows open trying to clean up my desktop at the same time here. So Alibaba, Pepsi, Kraft, Heinz. Hey Kelly, how you doing? Happy Thursday. I've been all screwed up. I thought today was Friday. It's Thursday. Yo Ben, what's going on? So, CSCO earnings. I was short the 49.50 call spread. Snow covers all the crap. So I sold, let me pull up right here, CSCO. So I sold right now I sold 3 of the 49.50 call spreads on that. I did sell them in the money. The reason why on CSCO I was looking to sell those in the money is because we were right up at resistance here. They've been missing their last few quarters, and being in the IT field, I know a lot more about CSCO than I probably should. So, none that have insider information, to be clear, not insider information. I just know a lot. I just know a lot about the industry. I know a lot about the products. I know a lot about what's going on with CSCO in the IT marketplace right now. So I felt it pretty safe to short. What I'm looking at in here in terms of profitability, let's go to the analysis. So, the implied volatility was at 90, was at 92. So with theta, let me get the curve screen up here. So with theta implied volatility, let's say we go down, let's say we go down like 30%. At open, I usually like to for using the analysis. I usually like to calculate like a 30% IV crush. So 30% IV crush, and around we're at 47.26. So I'm looking to make about 120 on that, 120. And you can see if I reset implied volatility, if there was no IV crush, I would make about 91 with theta. But with 30% IV crush, you have to account for the IV crush too. 30% I usually just is my go-to because it's pretty safe buffer. Sometimes we get 50% IV crush, sometimes 40, but I like to do a 30% IV crush when trying to calculate what my profits are going to be. So I'm probably going to try to put an order here before open on CSCO. So we'll see what happens here. I did get the weekly, so they do expire tomorrow. So theta helps there a little bit. Yeah, they missed and they dropped a bit. Yo, Billy, what's going on? If you're here right now, do me a favor, hit the like button. I appreciate it. Kind of going through it here. Pepsi beat forecast, revenue forecast, $1.45 a share. Organic revenue growth was better than expected, 4.3%, and the company said it was projecting a 4% growth organic revenue in 2020. Tesla, we'll get to. They did offer a $2 billion common offering. So they need to raise more money because the stock is so high. Alibaba, they don't have. Where's the Alibaba earnings? Let's see if we can get those. Let's see if we can get the Alibaba earnings here. No, I'm basic. I'm basic. I got the pocket. I got the pocket today. Here's the open. Here we go. Yeah, so if you guys haven't used it yet, I do have earnings being pulled. I do have earnings being pulled up in Discord. If you click on earnings, you can see that there's earnings reports in here. So that's where I found Alibaba just now. So not even tequila hat. Yeah, Rob. Yes, we'll look at those for sure. Kraft Heinz had earnings. We'll look at that as well. But yeah, Alibaba reported better than expected quarterly revenue. Company said that the 24-hour Singles Day shopping event hit 38.4 billion. That's insane. Like these companies, like Prime Day, Singles Day. I mean, they're hitting like 40 billion in revenue like in one day. I mean, that's like insane. Like if you were to tell people that, like, oh, you can make $40 billion $40 billion in one day, like 20 years ago because of the internet, no one would believe you. It's amazing. It's amazing. Sorry, geeking out a little bit. But they beat analyst estimates for quarterly results. I don't know. Why don't I have the numbers in here? Sales in the company's core business jumped 38%. In the third quarter, revenue in its cloud computer surged 62%. So, like I said, I knew that they were going to do well, but the reason why I didn't trade them for earnings is because it was really high risk with the coronavirus news. They don't say anything in here about guidance on coronavirus. Let's see here. Do they? Oh, the outbreak, which originated in the city of Wuhan, has resulted in the companies laying off workers, seeking cheaper funding, and struggling to restart production after an extended New Year holiday as supply chains remain disrupted. The epidemic is expected to pile more pressure on China's economy and comes as the country signed a Phase 1 deal with the United States to ease a protected trade war that had weighed on its growth. So, yo, JDM. Yo, JDM. Yeah, so I think that the market is going to care because, I mean, I think we're undervaluing the amount of pull that China has. You know, I know that we won like the Phase 1 trade war and all this stuff, but you know, I think that the coronavirus obviously is still getting worse, is still impacting China, and as one of the world's biggest economies in the world, I mean, it's gonna be a problem. It's gonna be a problem, and if they can't contain it, if it keeps getting more widespread, we're gonna have American companies gonna be impacted. So I'm not saying like short all you can today. I mean, I've been shorting a little bit here and there, and it's been working out a little bit, but you got to be careful. I wish I held on to my Boeing short. I did have Boeing short. I was short the 350 calls yesterday and got squeezed out. But now we dropped down. But you can't really time the news, like the coronavirus, because it seems like the coronavirus news hits when we like are not talking about it, and then it all of a sudden hits, screws up long positions. Then we go back up, we go back up, we go back up, we go back up. Then some coronavirus news comes out, we drop a ton, and then we're back. You know, so I don't know. It's just one of those things, you know. Does the pre-market pop and drop on TLT give us a clue that the Fed is stepping in heavy with repos? I feel like I gotta sneeze. Oh, sorry. Let's see here. TLT. Yeah, TLT's dropping hot. So yeah, it could be. Alibaba. So Alibaba right now, it closed at $224. It's right now $219. The expected move was I think $12, $11. Right now it's $10.60. So it was like $11 move, and it's only moved $5. So it's going to be eating those premiums up pretty good. So would have been good to sell some premium on there, but I think that implied volatility, I was on the lower end, and I thought the expected move was low for Alibaba. Wouldn't the virus hurt China more than the U.S. economy? It depends on if it impacts production, Daniel. For if it impacts production for Nike, Apple, Tesla, Boeing. I mean, most people manufacture in China. Most U.S. companies manufacture in China. So if it starts slowing down production, we're going to have problems here. They're not going to be able to meet demand. Companies are we're not going to be able to sell as much stuff. Also, companies that were relying heavily on China for growth. So let's say they're saturated here in the U.S. and they're relying heavily on China for growth for their company, and that was part of their 2020 outlook. That's going to get slashed. Guidance is going to get slashed. So it's going to impact U.S. companies eventually. It's kind of always, this is what happens, and then they report the last quarter. So like the numbers that we're getting are for last quarter. Next earnings report is going to be for like right now. So we're always like behind 3 months. So that's what you got to be kind of concerned about. Tesla. So Tesla is down a little bit. It did hit 707, 710, I believe. So they announced a $2 billion stock offering. Elon Musk will buy as much as 10 million of stock in this offering, while the board member Larry Ellison will also purchase up to 1 million. So they kind of cushion this news where they're going to offering 2 billion in stock, and Elon is saying, hey, I'll commit to 10 million. I know that I'm going to get paid out big already. 10 million is a drop in the bucket for meeting these bonuses. This comes 2 weeks after Musk declared that Tesla did not plan to raise any more capital. So it's kind of weird. It's kind of weird that he would say they're not going to raise any more capital. Then they have a $2 billion stock offering. He said he's going to buy $10 million worth, which is like nothing. Not saying $10 million is not a lot, but it's not a lot compared to what they're doing here. Let's look at Rob. Let's look at Kraft. Kraft has been struggling for a while. When they dropped from 48 down to 36, and they just been struggling. Yeah, I don't see this getting better for them. So let's see here, 24 is the 52-week low. They're at 28, so it's probably going to revisit 52-week lows at some point here. Okay, so now they're saying with the coronavirus, more than 60,000 cases, deaths are at 1,300. So it's not getting better. So far, there really hasn't been any reporting on coronavirus like outside of China lately. Like really in the U.S. there hasn't really been anything. Mostly just in China. It says HBC has lowered its first quarter forecast for mainland China economic growth to 4.1% on the year from 5.8%, which is pretty big, lowering it from 5.8% to 4.1% due to the fallout from the coronavirus. The bank also cut its China full-year growth forecast to 5.3 from 5.5, so 0.5%. That's half of 1%. Adding the impact was already starting to be felt in tourism, trade, and supply chains elsewhere. HSBC lowered its full-year estimate to global growth from 2.5% to 2.3%, adding it expected the brunt of the impact of the first quarter. So we'll see. So right now, if coronavirus right now doesn't get any better, I mean, I think that we're still going to be hitting some downgrades and all that. Oh, I was actually thinking about this. So they're saying New York City, Chinatown hit hard because of fears of coronavirus. I was thinking about that. So the Chinatown in Chicago, I was thinking also was going to get hit pretty hard because nobody wants to go to Chinatown because they think that. I mean, obviously those people visit China. I do know some people that own businesses here, are Chinese, and visit China regularly. to do business. They fly back and forth like once a month and stuff like that. So I think that's mainly why. But business orders are telling us revenues are down 40% in Chinatown, and it is unfounded. So I mean, it's gonna be a problem. Chinatown in Chicago is pretty big, pretty vast. New York's probably bigger. Probably also L.A. Or San Francisco, I should say. Chinatown in San Francisco. I mean, so I think it's going to be a problem for. I mean, the worst part about it is like, what did those people do to deserve that? Nothing. But people are just being cautious. AMAT, Applied Materials. So they had earnings. All these semis are looked to be heading up. I wonder what MU is doing. This is heading up. MU. Yeah, I mean, all these charts look the same. If you look at MU and AMAT, pretty much the same chart. I wonder what AMD is doing. He went to another country, Zerpal. Yeah, I think Ariana, I think the biggest thing with Chinatown is I think they're saying that because we're in America, we're feeling the fallout. And they have been saying that there is a bit of a racism and stuff involved because people are scared. People are scared, so they're staying away from Chinese people, Asian people. It's I don't know what you can do to. I mean, it's just the way it is. So even if like you're in Chinatown, you didn't go to China, and you're getting punished. But I guess the people that like were on that like those cruise ships and stuff, they didn't go to China and they got punished, and they're currently on 2-week lockdown, maybe more. Who knows? While more people are getting sick on the cruise ship. They're saying that the surge in cases reported is due in part because they changed how they are testing and counting. So hard to say how real the numbers are. Yeah, I mean, it's probably like 100,000 people are sick or something. I don't know. I don't even know what happened there. There's people are saying it came from the bat. Some people from a bat. Some people are saying it came from the government. Oh, jeez. We're having a rough go here today, Rob. If you haven't noticed, we're having a little bit of a rough go. Don't worry, I don't believe I have the coronas. Alibaba looks to be pushing back up right now. Yeah, so looks like Heinz gonna be pushing 52-week lows. Applied Materials is gonna be pushing 52-week highs. Yeah, no, I need more coffee. I've been on the struggle bus for like a week and a half now. Also probably because my diet has been like killing me. So, other stocks that are moving this morning. Boeing is moving, obviously. It's gapped down a little bit here. We're currently at whoa. We're currently at 343. I wouldn't be surprised if we come back down to like the 330 area, which would be nice. Yeah, I went from eating a lot of processed foods to eating like real meat and vegetables, and here we are. You could see it on my face. You can see I'm going through withdrawals. My sugar intake is at a low. Fast food intake is at a low. Not saying it's bad stuff. I mean, you should be eating unprocessed foods and stuff like that. But we just a bunch of convenience really. Right here, Cisco beating estimates by a penny. The networking equipment maker's revenue also topped analyst forecasts. However, Cisco warned of a revenue drop as much as 3.5% for the current quarter as economic uncertainties slow technology investment. So Daniel, like what we were talking about was this is one of the examples where American companies supply a lot of the global growth in terms of technology. American companies are used for almost everything, and Cisco is one of those suppliers, and they're saying because of uncertainties, they're going to slow down the investments. Does the no sugar thing? Yeah, I'm not doing no sugar, just kind of lowering my intake a bit, you know. TripAdvisor also had earnings, so Trip, which I thought they'd be down more. They're currently at 31. So they came in above. They came in. TripAdvisor earned an adjusted 38% per share for the fourth quarter, beating consensus by 5 cents a share. The travel review site came in above forecast. So, man, I need some Kleenex here. This is terrible. Jeez. So I was actually expecting TripAdvisor to be dropping more and also having their guidance be lower. I wonder how that Expedia as well. So Expedia has earnings after market close today. And let's see here, Caterpillar said that fundamentals for the heavy equipment maker have improved and that the Caterpillar now has a favorable risk to reward profile. So they kind of got a little bit of an upgrade. Hasn't really moved the stock a whole lot, but definitely interesting. The interesting thing was I was feeling fine this morning, and then as soon as I hop on the stream, I feel like all stuffed up and everything. It's super weird. I don't know what's going on. What are you guys trading? You guys, we got about 5 minutes to market open. LK has been a mover. I was thinking that this looks like a good time to possibly buy calls here. If we can get above, right now it's at 37. If we can get above like 40, would be a good time to buy calls. It's been making its way back up from its drop from 51. I mean, it's dropped 50%, and then now it's back up. So we'll see if we can get another pullback. Might really be looking to go long LK. Ben's got Iron Condors on a Trip. Baba should be paid at the open. Nice. Yeah, I just have the only thing I have on right now is a call spread on Cisco. I'll be looking to get out of. So I'll probably actually put that order in. So I'm expected to make like 120. Let's see, 115 or so. So I'm gonna put an order in. So what did this cost me here? So it cost me 50 cents. 50 cents times 3. All right. I'm gonna put a 5 cent order in and see what happens. All right. ZM calls, bro. Wall Street, ZM. Yeah, it looks a little dicey for me to get on this. In terms of Zoom, it looks a little dicey for me to get calls here. I'd wait for some pullback or see what happens. I see a lot of movement in RCL. Oh yeah. Yeah, this will be interesting. Let's see what is it at right now. Royal Caribbean, 115. So it depends on who's buying the dip because they're having some issues right now with obviously they said that they're gonna cut because of the coronavirus. So, all right, guys, I gotta go blow my nose or something. This is driving me nuts. So you guys have a good open. Stay safe, stay green.